Hi, I'm the Recruiting Maven and welcome back to my channel. So today's topic of conversation is, will you lose your job to an algorithm? I remember quite a few years ago people were really scared and upset that their jobs were being outsourced to such countries as India and Mexico. And so it seems like the new norm is losing your job to an algorithm, or at least soon to come. I wanted to address at this point some of the white collar working jobs that will be replaced in the near future. And it's hard to predict a specific timeline because artificial intelligence is growing exponentially, and even the world's top experts really don't know how quickly that's going to evolve. So, with that said, let's dive right in. So, a few positions or a few careers that most people think, oh, I'll never be replaced. One of those is essentially accountants. I mean, I know as an example, and I'm not talking about having an app on your phone to access your bank account. I'm talking about much more than that. So I have an app, and I don't want to name names because I don't want to sway you one way or the other. But I do have an app that I can take pictures of my receipt, swipe left to the right, identifying if it's for business, it's at a personal expense. So it's very easy. There's not that, inputting that is so strenuous and time consuming as it used to be. So for me, I don't really need an accountant anymore, someone to keep my books per se. I do use an accountant at the end of the year to do my taxes because I'm a contractor. But with that said, where I would normally hire someone and have in the past to do all the accounting for my business, I really don't need that person anymore. And so slowly that's going to be a transition in that particular industry and career. With that said, there's also investment apps. I remember recruiting for investment firms, and so that's a little bit, of a change that's going to happen. Whether you're investing a few pennies every transaction, or whether you have a very small amount of money to start off with to invest it in the stock market, and the apps make it for you available for you to invest with very little money, and so therefore investing and saving makes it much more accessible than it used to be. The other, and I did take notes because there's so much to cover, but with that said, we're also looking at lawyers, because lawyers by and large are a great asset. I know I particularly subscribe to sort of an HMO, as I like to call them, for lawyers, and it helps me, if I get a ticket and I don't have anyone to help me with that, to navigate, a legal situation, if maybe something would happen and I have a question, an IRS question, to be able to reach out to somebody right away and within a few hours get a phone call back. And so I contribute to a particular plan that allows me to have access to lawyers who are very well experienced. And again, I don't want to name names because it's not relevant to this conversation. But by and large, lawyers, what they used to be, what they used to represent, and how much they used to make is kind of dwindling. So we saw that huge shift in the massage industry, where masseuse, and I have a friend of mine who's a masseuse who was making pretty good money, and all of a sudden a large corporation came in and sort of reduced it to like a minimum wage job. So that changed that industry about 4 or 5 years ago. So by the same token, lawyers, I see that definitely happen. With that said, apps that essentially provide you with medical services, so doctors or general practitioners, you're going to see a shift in that as well. So it's more of doctors on demand, if you will. So there'll be multiple doctors on, say, an app that will compete for your business. And I would think that the service level in terms of pricing and all that is going to really come down because of the competition, right? So that's going to be interesting to have all these accessible doctors, hundreds of doctors being able to diagnose you and wanting to diagnose you, which is kind of a very different way of looking at the medical industry, right? So I thought that was very interesting. So those are my main items for today to discuss, because there's so much to discuss. I want to make sure that I'm taking each of these in a manner that is easy to understand and not overwhelm you. Again, this is a very long conversation, and this is just one small piece in that conversation. Hence, that's why I started the vlog, is in order to educate you, prepare you, within the larger changes, the fourth industrial revolution and its implications of mass unemployment. So with that said, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you liking and sharing, subscribing to my channel. Again, this is a very long conversation, and I have quite a library that I've built up of videos. If you are interested in further understanding what is happening, I know that the media is not being very good about informing the masses of the changes within that fourth industrial revolution. So I appreciate it, especially to my Facebook followers and my LinkedIn connections. Thank you guys, you're so awesome for helping me and sharing and liking. If you want further information, I will include all the links to my services in the description box below. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day, and you take care. Bye-bye.